By 1999, game giant SquareSoft announces plans to produce a film based on its hugely successful Final Fantasy franchise. Hundreds of millions of dollars go into the making of Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within, directed by Sakaguchi. The movie arrives in theaters on July 11, 2001, but the reaction is not what Square had been hoping for.
The movie was very confusing. It didn't appeal to Final Fantasy fans because it lacked the melodrama, the plot twists, the flamboyancy that had come to characterize the Final Fantasy plots.
I think that movie just really underscores the fact that it's really difficult to replicate animated human characters.
It is just hard to say, you know. If you can say that, oh, was this movie really supposed to be a Final Fantasy movie? Or, you know, did it just have the same name attached to it? It was a little unclear.
Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within was really one of the biggest blows the company has suffered. They put a ton of money into this movie, really high expectations for it. It was really beautiful to watch, but you know, you also had to listen to the story and listen to the acting, and it really just killed it. You know, if that was successful, then maybe Square would still be doing movies today. It's a shame because it was just a wonder to look at.
Despite the box office failure of the film, Square pushes forward in the series, using technology from the film to make a game for Sony's new PlayStation 2.
Every Final Fantasy has a new something, a new challenge. For 10, it was definitely including voiceover as one of the key elements.
The guardian worm, Evray. The great sacred beast.
It added more life and added voices to the characters that we created.
Roger, I'll give the command.
In a way, I think that kind of completed and made a full circle from starting from 7.
On July 19, 2001, Final Fantasy X arrives for the PlayStation 2, and fans line up to buy the game. It sells over 2 million copies in the first 48 hours. Work begins on several games at once. Final Fantasy X-2, an expansion of the story in Final Fantasy X.
Find the sphere and the fiends appear.
And Final Fantasy XI, a massively multiplayer game set in the Final Fantasy universe.
Yeah, I really wonder why the series is so popular. I don't know, but I think it is the new element, the new challenges that we put in every installment. For example, Final Fantasy XI is fully online, but still, it's a Final Fantasy game.
In 2002, Square delights Nintendo fans by announcing Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles for the GameCube. The first in the series to appear on Nintendo's home console in almost a decade.
To play the game to its fullest, you need 3 friends, 4 players total. You need 4 Game Boy systems that are hooked up to the GameCube. So it's really unique for a Final Fantasy game in that you have this group feeling to it.
Game giant SquareSoft announces Final Fantasy XII to an eager crowd of fans. Final Fantasy is the most successful role-playing franchise with millions of adoring fans.
For a series that has been out for over 10 years easily, I think by now there's a different generation of users and gamers who are playing the current Final Fantasies. So in a sense, this game has provided content for a few generations so far, and hopefully that will continue. That will be one of my dreams. To continue Final Fantasy, and to many generations, that can be something.
And when a consumer sees Square on the box, they know this game is going to have amazing production values. This game's been tested to death to make sure it's fun. And, you know, this game is going to be solid.
I think for gamers, whenever a new Final Fantasy game is announced, the world pretty much stops. Even fans that don't like Final Fantasy, they want to know what's going on because it just has such a huge impact. It's such an incredibly successful series, wildly popular.
With all our games, especially Final Fantasy, we try to do what is at the highest point of interest of every installment of the series. We start fresh and do something completely new. We just don't do any repeats. We do 8 full model changes. We always try to keep up with ourselves. I don't really have this huge goal right in front of me. It's more what we believe in. What we believe is going to make a unique and great product. That is all we basically focus on, and see how that rolls into something grand.
There are certain styles for Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy-ness, if you will. Since the beginning of the series, my staff has been able to work with the latest technology and the latest tools of the time and really challenge themselves every time they work on a new title. The series is like a giant toy box, and you find something entertaining and really cool to look at and wondering, wow, how did they put all this fun stuff in here?
As far as the future goes, I think Final Fantasy is going to be around for a long, long time. As long as Square keeps the talent fresh and the games interesting and exciting, I think that consumers are going to enjoy the games.
I hope that the series will continue in the way forever, as long as there are users out there who want Final Fantasy.
Really, I don't think there's going to be a Final Fantasy.
Thank you.